Hey guys, what's up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review, and today we're taking a look at the new Marvel Legends No Way Home 3-pack. It has been such a good time to be a Spider-Man figure collector over the last year and a half. I mean, we have been getting such great releases. We got the Amazing Fantasy 15 Spidey, Renew Your Vows, we've had a couple SH Figuarts, a couple of Mayfex, we're getting the new Revoltech version 2, and this is another huge Spider-Man figure release that I've been really excited to get, and I've finally got them in hand. This is going to be a bit of a longer video, so let's just jump right into it. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this 3-pack. While you're down there guys, as always, if you could do me a massive favour and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, then please hit that subscribe button. And let's not wait any longer, let's take a closer look at all three of these No Way Home Spider-Man movie figures. And so here is our windowless plastic free packaging that the three figures came in, the packaging that we're now getting used to from Marvel Legends. Spider logo up the top, image of the three figures, Marvel Legends series, Spider-Man No Way Home in the bottom left corner, bunch of mumbo jumbo in the bottom right. Really cool image down the side here. This looks like some really good kind of promo art, and each Spidey looks magnificent on the side there. Different image but same style on the other side. I really like both these images on the side. I really wish we got something similar on the front. And then on the back, each of the figures and everything that comes with this box set. And yeah, let's just take a look at what we actually get here. So we'll start with Tom Holland's Spider-Man here. The reason I'm starting with this one is because this is the one I was least excited about, and still am. I think this is just pretty disappointing off the bat from Hasbro, but we'll get into it. I think the first thing to be disappointed about is this reused web accessory, and I do not know how many times I've spoke about this web accessory now on the channel. I must have about 10 or 12 of these at this point. This came out originally in 2012 and Hasbro have just continuously reused it, and I'm sick of the sight of it. I hate the triangle handle, it's so outdated. Apart from that, I mean, it's alright, but I wish they would give us a range of web accessories that are updated and suits a figure coming out in 2023. We need web accessories that are going to port around the wrist, and we need a bit of a better range rather than this here. Yeah, super disappointed. And spoiler alert, we get another 2 of these in the box set, 3 of the exact same web accessories. And don't get me wrong, each Spider-Man deserves his own web accessory, but not the exact same that's been reused over and over and over, especially for the price point of this 3-pack. So yeah, not too happy with the web accessory. It looks alright if you take the handle part away, but come on man, give us our money's worth. Then we get a bunch of interchangeable hands with Tom Holland Spidey here. We get the wall crawling hands, which look pretty good. Nice sculpted webbing around the fingers, a sculpted detail on the back of the hand as well. 2 of them, check, because of course we know we're not getting all the range of hands with other Spidey releases at the moment. 2 whipping hands and 2 fisted hands, so I'm happy with that. We get all the alternative hands that we need. These ones look pretty good. And then we get the figure, and oh man, such a letdown. Like, yeah, really disappointing, and mostly because it's just pretty much the exact same as what we got, what, less than 2 years ago when No Way Home came out. These figures were up for pre-order, and it is essentially the exact same figure. I'm a big fan of Carbon Scoring. Go check out his channel if you've not watched it already. The guy's a legend, and I was watching his unboxing of these figures, and I'm pretty sure he said that this was a new sculpt, so it got me questioning things. As far as I can tell, it is the exact same sculpt. I think the head sculpts are even identical. The only difference here is the paint, and I think that's so weak. We get 2 other Spider-Man figures utilising the best articulation that Marvel Legends has given us. Once again, big price point on this 3-pack. And they've just given us a repaint, and the figure's not even accurate, man. Like, what are these gauntlets? The movie has been out for nearly 2 years. We know that this suit does not have these gauntlets. and it enrages me because I personally, I'm not a big fan of like the Iron Spider costume, the MCU one specifically. I don't like all the tech kind of parts. I like a classic Spider-Man, and I'm just not a fan of these kind of gauntlets being on Spidey's costume. So I'm going to take them off and we'll just see what that kind of looks like without them, because you would hope it would look more accurate to the movie. And I cannot believe that Hasbro haven't given us a new Tom Holland sculpt to go with the other two figures, and have also included these inaccuracies in the costume. It is really such a letdown, especially for such a highly priced 3-pack. It doesn't look the worst. I mean, you can tell that there should be something ported on there, but I'm actually happier with them off than on, so that is how the figure is going to stay. The only reason I kept them on was to show off that they've given us an inaccurate figure after years, and yeah, that was me just shoving the gauntlets in the bin. I just think that we've not seen the last of Tom Holland's Spidey. He's going to have more movies, he's got more costumes to make figures of. Why on earth would Hasbro just not kind of modify the likes of the AF-15? This is a smaller comic book Spidey. If they kind of worked on this sculpt, you know, just kind of made the proportions a bit more human-like and less comic-like, we could have got a really, really cool Tom Holland Spidey with this 3-pack, and I think that would have justified the high price point. But instead, they've given us just a lazy repaint, and that's what's really irked me with this figure. Putting all that aside, it's decent. It's not the worst. It looks like No Way Home costume from the film, with the gauntlets removed, of course. And I do like the design. After seeing Tom really, you know, go Super Saiyan in this film, in this costume, it really gave me a new love for this suit, and I'm happy to get this here, but I just think overall it's not quite cutting it. The paint is really nice. I love the gold, and I love how the webbing's finally been painted in. I mean, that was just a no-brainer from the get-go. I cannot believe they gave us this figure looking the way it does. I don't know what I prefer, the blue or the grey. I don't think both are... I don't know. I think looking at both of these, this is a dark blue, this is a kind of darker grey, and I think the darker grey on this looks slightly more accurate to the film, but I think it just depends on the scenes, the lighting. I don't know, no comment. I'd need to watch No Way Home again. I think both look really good. This one overall looks better because of the way the webbing's painted. But yeah, I think the articulation really lets this down, and it really shows how lazy Hasbro can be, just giving us a 2-year-old figure with another 2 brand new figures. Maybe I'm complaining too much. It is nice, but I just wish that articulation was a bit better. This just seems a bit outdated compared to the other 2 figures, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's my thoughts on this one. We've seen this figure before. I mean, I reviewed this figure on the channel, so there's not too much else to say. This is good, it looks good, but it is very, very lazy, and a bit of a kick in the teeth for us collectors who have already got this figure in the collection, you know. So moving on. So next up, we have the reason that I pre-ordered this 3-pack in the first place, and that's not an exaggeration. I saw Tobey Maguire Marvel Legends and I instantly pre-ordered this, especially based on the promo images for this figure right here. It looks spectacular, and I really didn't care about Andrew or Tom's figure. I just wanted a Tobey Maguire Marvel Legends, and yeah, we get the same web accessory as the other 2 figures, as the other 20 million Marvel Legends figures that have been released in the last 10 years. So yep, web accessory over there. We once again get these kind of different hands, the fisted hands, which are all kind of nicely sculpted, and the paint's actually looking really good on these hands. Pretty solid for the most part. We get 2 fisted hands, we then get the web whipping hands, and we get wall crawling hands, which are on the figure at the moment, and these are pretty cool looking. They aren't just the kind of normal splayed out fingers that we see quite a lot. You know, I feel like a lot of the Spider-Man Marvel Legends that we've got recently have some variation on this wall crawling hand. This looks a lot more interesting and kind of weirdly more accurate to the Spider-Man movies, I think. The way his fingers are perched like that looks really good, and it is really interesting to look at. Way better than, as I said, the kind of usual that we've gotten the last few times with these Spider-Man movie figures, when we even do get the full range of hands. So that is really cool that we've got these nicely sculpted wall crawling hands that are a bit different. And that's it. So yeah, we get the interchangeable hands, the reused web accessory. I think a lot of people, including myself, were really disappointed that we didn't get the alternate heads. I mean, that is such a huge part of No Way Home, the returning actors coming back for a big reunion, and they give us this 3-pack with all figures included, but none of the actors' likenesses. It is such a letdown, and the rumours are that they're going to re-release these figures before the end of the year with the actors' likenesses, with that alternative head sculpt. And I just hope that's not true, man, because that is such a money-hungry, scummy move, Hasbro. Like, ugh, yeah, that would really irk me off. Everyone's been waiting years to get this movie representation of our favourite movie Spider figures, and they've given us it in this one big expensive 3-pack, knowing that we're all going to jump on it and pre-order these guys, and they know that they've not included a massive part that everyone wants. And if they re-release it before the end of the year, yeah, I just think that is really damn scummy. And I mean, I don't have the best impression of Hasbro at the moment. It's definitely not as bad as a lot of other people, but yeah, I would be really ticked off. Anyway, going back to this figure here, man, I've really seesawed on it. I went up and down. This guy's climbed the ratings, went down. I cannot make my mind up on this figure. At the moment, I am liking it. It's a lot of fun. I posed this thing around quite a bit last night, and I really enjoyed it. I think it looks... Man, where do I start? I think it looks like a knockoff. It doesn't look like the promo images, man. Like, the promo images looked so good. Like, when I saw the promo images for this figure, I thought it rivaled the SH Figuarts. I thought it looked like one of the best Toby figures that would have ever been put out. And this just doesn't really match what they showed off. And now that I've played around with it and I've had a proper good look at it, I think it all comes down to the paint they've used. It all comes down to the colours here, because the sculpt is really good. The sculpt is great. I think the mask looks really good, and I think a lot of folks' complaints were the mask and how it didn't look like the original trilogy, and I guess your problem there is with No Way Home in general and how they've changed the mask. I actually have a newfound love for this head sculpt, this No Way Home look, after watching this really great video. I'll pop it up on the screen right here on YouTube. I cannot remember the guy's name. The name of the video was pretty long, so yeah, check this video out. It's really damn good, and it gave me this whole newfound love for this No Way Home costume. And I think this Marvel Legends figure really accurately captures that No Way Home Toby look in the sculpt. I think, you've got this nice texturing going on in the costume, all over, in the legs and the red parts, the blue parts. It all has this nice texturing. It's a lot more subtle than the promo images initially showed off. The texturing looked pretty hardcore on those promo images. It doesn't pop as much as it did in them. But yeah, as I said, I think it's the paint that really lets this down. I don't know what they're basing the red and blue off, because it just doesn't look familiar. It doesn't look accurate. The blue maybe more so than the red. I mean, this deep navy blue. Let's just grab the box, okay? So here's the box for a 3-pack. And look at the blue they've used on the artwork here. That looks like Tobey Maguire's Spidey. This doesn't, man. Like, it just doesn't really scream true to me. And as I was saying to someone the other day, I think it's because I've gotten the SH Figuarts before this one here, and it's just completely spoiled me. I mean, we'll take a closer look at this thing in a minute. But yeah, the blue looks off, the red looks way too bright. Once again, it's very unfamiliar. I don't look at this and think that red looks like any Tobey Maguire costume that we've seen on camera. And then what makes it all worse is the silver webbing, man. They've just thrown this silver webbing on. It's way too bright, it doesn't look movie accurate at all, and it's really sloppy in some places. Like look here, it's just all kind of smudged. The paint kind of in the arm here, yeah, it's just the red I was thinking of. The head, it's just not even, it's not very solid, but I just think the overall tone of the silver here, you can see it in the boot there, yeah, it just lets it all down. It just doesn't really hold all together, and overall it makes me think that this thing looks a bit cheap, and it's just it looks like a knockoff of the SH Figuarts at the end of the day. But I don't want to compare it to the SH Figuarts too much. Of course, it's an import figure, it's a lot more expensive. This is our more budgeted Marvel Legends. We know what we're getting into with Marvel Legends. But yeah, I can't help but feel let down, and that's just comparing it to what it looked like in the promo images. And I mean, there's that clear difference. In the promo images, the webbing is that gunmetal silver, dark grey. This is just bright silver that I think looks kind of sloppy in areas, and it should hold the red and blue and create a complete package, but I think it does more damage than good with the way the webbing's applied and the colour of it. So yeah, that's my main thoughts with this thing. As I said, the sculpt is there, and it's actually really fun to pose around, and after posing this thing around, I'll give this a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10. Which might be surprising because I have just went pretty hard on the overall look of this figure. But I do like it. You can get it into some great poses. It's Tobey Maguire's Spidey. Nostalgia's playing a part for me here. I think the sculpt is really good. I mean, especially that chest logo. The chest logo looks absolutely fantastic. The back logo looks really, really good. It's just the paint, I think, is the biggest killer for this thing. And yeah, I'll give it a 7. I'm feeling good. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And some folk are clearly going to disagree with me on that. Some folk will probably think it's a lot better. Some folk are going to think it's a lot worse. But yeah, I'm happy with it, but also just very disappointed. I didn't think I was going to get a Tobey Maguire figure that looked like this. I thought I was getting a figure that looked like that. But hey, there's a reason I've left Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man figure to last. And as I said before, I pre-ordered this 3-pack all on the sole focus of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man figure. But this right here is the redeeming factor, because I'm going to say it, I think this is the best 6-inch scale The Amazing Spider-Man figure that money can buy. I think it looks better than the Mafex, the SH Figuarts, the Diamond Select, all of them, man. I think this looks better. I think this is just incredible looking, and it just captures that Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spidey so well. There's a couple of things here and there that we'll get into, but here we go. We get the exact same web accessory. Won't go on about that anymore. And then we get the wall crawling hands. So we get these ones are slightly weirder because is this a wall crawling hand? I guess it is. I think they've tried to make it interesting like the Tobey ones, but I don't think this pays off as well. This one looks a lot more normal. Very similar to the Tom wall crawling hands. And then we get the tooth whipping hands. All the web lines are really solid here, and I'm glad that we get all the necessary hands. Keep it up, Marvel Legends. And then we get two-fisted hands, which surprisingly the SH Figuarts doesn't come with, and I've not seen enough folk talk about that. Like, I genuinely think they must have just forgotten. How has the SH Figuarts given us all those accessories, all the webbing? They were going to give us the alternate head, of course, but that never went through. But how did they not give us fisted hands? That is so weird, right? Anyway, something about the SH Figuarts, since we're talking about it, let's stay on that subject. Something about the SH Figuarts that just doesn't really do it for me, and every time I see it, it just stands out like a sore thumb, is the neck on that figure. The neck of the SH Figuarts just looks too tall and skinny, and it, as I said, I can't look past it, right? A lot of folks say it looks more accurate to the movie because this figure here is too muscly for Andrew. Now, I'll take that one. I think this guy does look a lot more muscly. I think the SH Figuart's more slender, skinny look is more accurate to the film, but I think this looks really good in figure form. I'm gonna look past that one, I'm afraid. I think this looks great as a figure. It's still pretty accurate to Andrew's tone, Andrew's body. I mean, he's not beefy or anything, but you can tell it is a lot more muscly and toned in this area here. So yeah, I think both figures have their inaccuracies, is basically what I'm getting at. But overall, I think this one just takes the cake. I think the paint on this is perfect, man. I think they have absolutely nailed the colours of this costume. I think they've absolutely nailed the head sculpt. The head sculpt, whoa, looks so good. I mean, I'm getting just so hyped looking at this thing myself. I mean, yeah, I'm so stoked for this figure. I mean, as I said, it has really redeemed the 3-pack here. I don't think Marvel Legends could have given us a better Andrew figure. This thing looks absolutely superb from pretty much every angle, man. I mean, that just screams the movie posters that we saw back. When did the second film come out? Was that 2014? Yeah, it's just awesome. The chest logo looks fantastic. The webbing looks great, but one thing I noticed, right, is this back logo. The legs of the spider goes up over the red part of the costume here, and that is inaccurate. It doesn't look bad at all. You probably don't even notice it too much, but there's that, of course, iconic shot of Andrew web swinging at the start of the film where he's up in the sky, you know, his arms are like that, and you see that back logo, and the blue is a lot taller here, and the spider logo is clear of any red, so it's just something small that I noticed. And yeah, probably the only thing that I really need to complain about. When I first got this out of the packaging, I did kind of need to play around with this torso area a wee bit so it all lined up. It did look a bit off, it was going a bit ski-whiff. But yeah, it seems to kind of pull all together now. You just kind of need to play around with him. Of course, he's in a completely neutral pose and he just looks perfect, I think. Honestly, man, this thing has made the 3-pack worth it for me. Once again, all the texturing going through the costume, colours are just completely accurate. Really little like paint mishaps as well. The Toby just looks a bit sloppy in areas. I cannot see anything on this figure that looks like there's been a lack of care going on. I mean, it looks like this one has really been nailed, and I love the web shooters as well. That looks really nicely sculpted. I'm so happy that they've included them. Really accurate to the film. I love it. I love this figure, and it is definitely the best of the 3-pack for sure. I'm giving this a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. And what makes this Andrew figure even better is looking at the predecessor, looking at the original Amazing Spider-Man 2 Marvel Legends figure. I mean, look at that upgrade, man. That is perfect. And it's crazy how our perspective changed, because I remember like a lot of folks saying this was one of the best Spidey figures released, and they were using it as their comic Spidey in the collection. Folk were stoked on this figure for quite a while, and look at it now. I mean, look at it now. It is crazy, and it's crazy to see how far Marvel Legends have come. And don't get me wrong, we got everything we needed with this figure, and it probably cost around £22. Came out, I'm guessing 2014. Is there a date on it? 2013 it says on his shoe, so literally 10 years between these two figures. So in 10 years, this, what, 3-pack, is it going to cost around $35, I suppose, if you were dividing it down? Probably a wee bit less than 35. So there's over £10 price difference, but I think that's clearly worth it. I think these two side by side, you get what you're paying for. Yeah, man, I'm so happy with this release here. And it just gets even better. Released a year or two prior to that Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, we've got the Amazing Spider-Man 1 Marvel Legends, and it's crazy to think that this is the same company. I mean, that looks like you're looking at an import versus, you know, Marvel Legends or whatever, but both of these Marvel Legends, those years in between, it's so cool, man. It is really cool, and I only hope that Marvel Legends give this suit another try. I love the Amazing Spider-Man suit, and I would love to see it on this body mold. It needs to happen, man. They would make so much money. Like, Hasbro, I hate to say it, seemed like a really money-hungry company. That would make money. Come on, like, re-release all the movie suits. Just do it. So recently on the channel we took a closer look at the Walmart exclusive Amazing Spider-Man 1 movie figure that came with this Andrew Garfield head sculpt, and I was really anxious to see what this head sculpt was going to look like on this new Marvel Legends figure. I thought it was going to look really small and just not work at all, but holy crap, man, it looks pretty damn good. I'm so happy with it, how this looks. As I said in that video, I really wasn't expecting this Andrew Garfield sculpt to be as good as it is, and it kind of holds up on this body. Like, I've been looking to get a custom Andrew Garfield head sculpt, but they're so expensive, especially over here in the UK, because I can't really find any local sellers. It's all imported from Japan or America, and that costs a lot of money on top of the already expensive price point that these custom head sculpts have, rightfully so. So yeah, it's a big investment getting those custom head sculpts, and I'm happy with this. I'm happy with how this looks for the meantime. We'll see what Marvel Legends does in the future. I'd be really hesitant to give them my money. What am I talking about? Of course I'm going to pick up the future releases. I mean, it's pretty much a certainty, but yeah, this looks great for the most part. Man, I love it. Popping the head off on the Tobey figure is a wee bit more risky. You can sort of see it here, there's this kind of gap. This neck is separate to the body, and every time you pull that head off, this wants to come with it, and yeah, you see some serious gappage, which is causing me a wee bit of concern. I don't know whether to maybe heat it up and how long that would last, but yeah, let's do some head swaps here. Obviously without any customization going on, that's how your SH Figuarts Tobey Maguire head sculpt's going to sit on this thing. So obviously not ideal. If you cut that peg off, it would probably look pretty good, but that is not something I'm going to be doing anytime soon. And then sadly, I'm going to need to do a wee bit more customizing here, which should be alright. I've been using an 8mm drill bit to custom some head sculpts recently, and I could probably just keep drilling that so it goes a bit wider. However, it does have that kind of solid plastic, that grey stuff you see, which is really hard to kind of shift. So we'll see how it goes. At the moment, once again, it's just sitting on the figure like this, so I've only got one last hope at the moment for a Tobey head sculpt. And I don't hate it. This once again is without any modification. I think maybe a wee bit of tack on top of the peg would make it look a wee bit better. I really liked this custom head sculpt at the time. I mean, it is a great head sculpt, but I hate how dark it portrays Tobey here. It makes him look very Black Suit Spider-Man 3, and I want more happy, cheerful, nerdy Tobey from Spider-Man 1 and 2. So yeah, once again, I guess I'm just gonna have to wait to see what Marvel Legends does. In the meantime, yeah, I'm really happy with that, and it fits on the body really well. I think the proportions are fine. I got this on eBay a couple years back, maybe even longer than that, so I don't know if they're still up there. I don't know if they're still selling, but yeah, this looks really good. So the obvious comparison coming first, we've got our Tobey Marvel Legends next to the Tobey SH Figuarts. Both of these figures releasing in 2023. And I think you can kind of see why I'm a bit disappointed with this one. I just think the colours on this are so much more familiar, so much more accurate. And as I said, it kind of makes this one look a bit of a knockoff. Now, I've seen a lot of folks' gripes with this one being the hip area. I think that does kind of stand out next to the Marvel Legends here. The paint just absolutely takes the cake for me. And another one I've seen people say is the scale of this. It doesn't scale with Marvel Legends. Now, I'm not trying to deceive anyone. This figure is standing as straight as I can get it, and they are pretty much the same height, man. Like, the legs definitely look a bit more stumpy, but I mean, come on, they are very close in proportions, very close in height. It works pretty well together. Let me shove Andrew in here. We'll shove Andrew in the middle and kind of see what he looks like next to the other Marvel Legends. Because I think he works absolutely fine. I don't think it stands out too much. I thought it would be a lot different. I thought he would be a lot smaller. But I don't think that argument holds up. I don't think you can say, oh, this doesn't scale well with the Marvel Legends, because it does. This is clearly the better figure, but I know imports isn't everyone's cup of tea. Of course, just the usual subject matter, more expensive and things. If you're wanting the ultimate Tobey Maguire action figure, it is the SH Figuarts here, but yeah, the Marvel Legends isn't bad. As I said, I've had a lot of fun with it, and I'm happy to have a Tobey Maguire Marvel Legends as well as the SH Figuarts. As I said earlier, I don't really want to compare this new Tobey Marvel Legends to the SH Figuarts too much. I've obviously talked about the promo images and things, but I think a better comparison is the original Toy Biz movie figures. We had Toy Biz holding the 6-inch license back then, creating some of the best figures about, some of the most nostalgic figures, and some of my most favourite figures in my collection. Next to now Marvel Legends. Hasbro took over from Toy Biz, and this is their attempt, so I think this is a good comparison. And I think it's safe to say that this is why I'm feeling disappointment, man. Like, look at the Toy Biz here, look at the sculpt and the texturing going on in the legs. It is clear as day, and the colours they have used here are just wonderful, man. Like, it looks really on-screen accurate. It really translates to that Spider-Man 1 film. And as I said, I don't know what this translates to. It feels really unfamiliar. It doesn't seem accurate. And of course the proportions are way better on this figure. I'm not even saying that this figure isn't better than Toy Biz. I think it is. You know, in 2023 it has to be, right? But my biggest gripe is the paint. And comparing them to the Toy Biz, you can see why, right? I can't be the only one. I've looked at the Toy Biz Spider-Man movie figures so many times on the channel. I've done big collection videos. Most recently, I did a huge comparison in the SH Figuarts Tobey Maguire movie figures. So if you want to see more of the Toy Biz movie figures, check those videos out. I've just picked out my favourite from the Toy Biz movie figures here. This is the Scooter Pizza Spider-Man, and here he is next to our new Hasbro Marvel Legends. And seeing as we have absolutely no sign of any updated Marvel Legends Green Goblin figure, we have the Toy Biz Spider-Man 1 movie figure here. And this just shows we need a new one. Come on, Hasbro, just announce it, man. How long has the movie been out for? The leaks have been out there, and obviously you can take them with a pinch of salt, but we need a new Goblin. The proportions compared to our new Spidey here, just, it is not gelling. Yeah, these two are great to look at next to one another, but it just shows we need an updated Goblin. Once again, here is our new 3-pack Tom Holland movie figure next to the previously released No Way Home Tom Holland figure. Yeah, I think they just needed to do something more, something new here, and it's really disappointing that they've not. Because here he is next to the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man ever released, and I just feel like they should have done some variation of this figure for Tom. I mean, that is pretty much what they've done on both Tobey and Andrew. You can see the articulation is pretty much the same. They have just went for the exact same idea, but related it to the respective characters, and they didn't bother with Tom. And man, there's obviously rumours that I've really struggled to get this guy to stand. There's rumours of them releasing the final swing suit pretty soon, and I just hope that they give this guy a new buck when they put that costume on the figure, because it is such a cool suit, and I'm going to be pretty disappointed if it is on this sculpt. I mean, I'll be really disappointed. I've pre-ordered the SH Figuarts because it looks absolutely outstanding, and I can only hope that Marvel Legends kind of raised the bar a wee bit. And so there you have it from me and all my thoughts on this 3-pack. I was going to run over the articulation, but I feel like we kind of get it. If you own the retro carded Spidey, Renew Your Vows, I mean, it's the same articulation on Tobey and Andrew, and of course we have seen Tom's figure in the past before. I think we all get the kind of range of movement that these figures have, and it's just not quite my bag. The video is going on for quite a while. We'll wrap it up here. What I will say though is with both Tobey and Andrew, I mean Tom, I'm not even bothered about posing around, but Tobey and Andrew here, I really wish their heads would move further up the way, and it's the same with the SH Figuarts, to be honest, and I don't think I addressed that in that video. You do need to do some tweaking here and there. For example, with Tobey last night, I had to pop his head straight off and kind of just tack it on at the top so he was looking further forward and being able to get him in those slightly more dynamic poses. I mean, I don't ever claim to be that great at posing, but it was definitely something I noticed with these movie figures. And it is also a gripe that I have with the SH Figuarts, so it's not just these Marvel Legends here. Yeah, man, I'm not going to ramble on too much more. I think this is a very decent 3-pack. I think it is a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you are a fan of the movies, the previous trilogy, the Andrew Garfield movies, and No Way Home, then I think this is definitely going to be worth your money. I think they look the part mostly. Obviously, Tom just lazy, but it looks like a decent figure for that costume, and basically the same comments with Tobey. It is disappointing, but it's not bad, you know. I kind of need to just get over it, I think. It's been a lot of fun posing them around, and I'm really happy to have the Tobey Maguire Marvel Legends, and it does look good, does it? I don't know. I honestly, as I said before, my thoughts have just been changing all over the place with this figure. But the Andrew is outstanding. The Andrew figure couldn't be better. I think it is absolutely spot on, and yeah, I do really like this 3-pack on the whole. It has been a great pickup, and I've really enjoyed taking a closer look at them here in this video. Let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts are. I think this 3-pack is going to be very divisive, but as always, you know, each to their own. Everyone's allowed their own thoughts on it. No one's right, you know, it's all going to be down to your personal preference and your perspective. Let me know what you guys think. It would be a good conversation down in the comment section. And while you're down there, guys, as always, if you could do me a massive favour and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'll leave the link to my Instagram in the description below, where I will definitely, probably slowly but surely, be posting a lot of pictures of these figures up over there. I've been loving posting on my Instagram. It's my favourite pastime at the moment, so there's loads of pictures going up on there at the moment, and it'd be awesome if you could check it out. Feel free to hop on over to the channel page as well, check out any of my other figure reviews and sticker pack openings, things like that over there. It would mean a lot, and it means a lot that you've checked this video out right here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.